Hey, I'm Megan. Welcome to my channel, Glue Guns and Roses, where I'm all about easy DIYs or inexpensive DIYs and decorating on a very small budget. Totally beyond stoked to share this video with you. I've been working on it for well over a month, giving my dining room a makeover. Now, my dining room wasn't like horrible before. It's just not what I wanted or had envisioned. And it did well for the time being. I'm pretty excited about how this turned out. Using DIYs, thrifted items, free items, or trash to treasure, whatever you want to call it, I was able to turn it into more of a modern, rustic, industrial, farmhouse type feel, which I've totally been wanting and totally nailed it, if I can brag on myself for a second. All right, so I got this table for free 7 years ago off of Craigslist. I've been holding on to it forever because I've known I wanted a rustic farmhouse round table like forever. So I sanded it down, but not to remove like the paint, more so just to get all the crap and gunk off of there. I used this as my crafting table for a while, and then I had it in the garage. So yeah, the top of the table's not wood though. That's why I've been holding off, waiting to find like the right tabletop. Then using my trusty old Rust-Oleum chalk paint, the same chalk paint I always use and that I love, I gave the bottom of the table 2 thick coats of chalk paint. And what I love about this stuff, 1, it's inexpensive, but 2, the dry time's super fast. So by the time I finished, I could go back almost immediately after and do my second coat. Now, I picked up this old bar table at a yard sale. It's in rough shape. It's exactly what I've been looking for. It just doesn't look that way yet. It'd been sitting in a garage, like I said, kind of old, nasty. So I removed all the old screws, the nails, took off the bottom part, and then I thoroughly cleaned the wood. Since I'm bringing this inside, I'm like weird about bringing it in. Sprayed it off with a pressure washer, scrubbed it down with a scrub brush using soap and water, rinsed it off again, let that dry on an elevated surface for almost 2 full days. Then I went back and sanded off the wood glue and all the extra crud and repeated the cleaning process. So I don't know if that was overkill, but yeah, I was just worried about bringing in mold or critters into the house, I guess. I don't know. Then using the black tabletop, I like traced it out on the bottom of the wood tabletop. You see what I'm saying here? And then I used duct tape. Is this the most correct or professional way to do this? Nah, probably not. But you know what? It worked for me. I swear duct tape can do 1,000,005 things. Now remember, the black tabletop is not wood, so I did use liquid nails instead of wood glue, and I needed the tape to hold it in place while it was drying. So the dry time for liquid nails is 24 hours, but then the cure time, which is different than dry time, is like a week or more. So that just means like maximum hold, maximum strength is after a week or so. I just waited 24 hours. So like the next day I went back, cut off the duct tape so no one will ever know what's under there, and then put it back on the bottom of my table. So the bar table was already kind of warped when I got it, which that's fine. So you can kind of see here where some of the boards don't match up evenly. For the most part, it was cool, good to go. Whipped out the sander again using 80 grit to remove like the big old bumps, and then 120 and then down to 220 to smooth it out so I could like rub it with my hand. I was kind of freaking out at first because I didn't stain this, by the way. I was freaking out while sanding that it was going to remove like the pretty finish, but I went back and applied polyurethane 5 times and sanded in between. This is the first time I used this stuff. I was kind of freaking out that I was going to mess it up, but it turned out great, and it kind of brought out the beautiful wood texture again and darkened it up a little bit. After that, then I went back and painted the bottom with chalk paint, like around the edge where it was black. I'm really impressed with myself how this table turned out. It took me a few weeks to complete because of the sanding and the polyurethane dry time, but this has been my dream table. I love how the top looks. You can still see like the knots and the character, but it really is smooth, like rubbing your hand across it. I guess you have to feel it to see what I'm saying. Went ahead and totally cleared out my dining room. Selling the white table in a yard sale, hopefully sooner than later. It just needs to get out of the garage, really. And I ordered these chairs off of Amazon for 4 chairs, it was only $100, not each, but so pretty much each chair is $25, which I think is a really good deal. I do have that linked in the description. It's not affiliated or sponsored or anything like that. I'm just blown away with the deal. I think it's great, so I'm sharing it with you. Also, just kind of like a helpful tip, or I don't know, maybe it's not a tip, maybe this is no secret. I'm absolutely in love with Dollar Tree's felt bottom holders. I'm at a loss for words, but you know what I'm saying. Really, they stick on really well and they protect the floor. So I added that to all the chairs so they won't be scratching at my floors, along with the table as well. I love the way these chairs look, and they do come in multiple colors. So I just got black because I felt like it would really match with the light fixtures in the room. And for 4 of them, you really can't beat that deal. Next, I'm moving my house around a little bit. This is a wooden console. My daughter and I made this with a handsaw. We didn't know what we were doing. We figured it out. It's not perfect, but it's perfect to me. Or it's not flawless, but it's perfect to me. Let's put it that way. So I'm moving that into the dining room. That tin with the pillows is from Walmart, $7 on sale from the summer. And some books, just kind of move them around. Then I'm gonna add some pumpkins because it's fall time right now. Now I'm not sure if this is how it's gonna stay under here, but it's good enough for now. By the way, that dairy, poultry, whatever pillow is from Amazon, but I don't suggest it. It's like literally thick as a Dollar Tree pillow. Or like, I would not be shocked if Dollar Tree uses that same type of material for their pillows. It's just not high quality. Anyways, put the chairs with my table, and I love the way this looks. To style the top of the table, I really do want to kind of keep it simple. So just a thrifted vase, like $2, and with Walmart florals. Now, whenever my florals aren't long enough, I will wrap some sticks at the end with floral tape. I just need to paint the floral tape brown or something. So coming together great so far, and then we're going to make this huge wall art that goes above the console. This plywood is 4 feet by 3 feet. I always have plywood on hand, but it's fairly cheap. In fact, the size I'm using for 4 feet by 8 feet is actually about $13, and it was less in the store. So sometimes store prices are a little bit different. Home Depot cut this down for me. I don't have that type of saw or skills to do that with a handsaw. Brought it home, painted it white with chalk paint. Now, this next part you can do inside if you want to. I'm just doing it outside because it's easier. Using a Dollar Tree plastic shower curtain, but you can use whatever you need to protect your floors and your paper. Spray it down with a hose, and this is Staples Engineering print. This is a picture that my husband took. I printed it off in black and white, 3 feet by 4 feet for only $7. Now, I should warn you, some Staples won't print pictures like that, because this is supposed to be, you know, an engineer print, not made this way. One store did tell me, no, they will not print the picture because it ruins the ink. I just said, okay, called another store and they did it for me. Either way, find a store that will. It's only $7. Spray down your picture really well. I know that seems scary, but it's gonna look really cool in the end. Use Mod Podge all over, it doesn't matter what type, or you could even use glue all over your board, and then pick up your print, squish it up, it doesn't matter if it gets wrinkled, and put it all over the board. Now, this part's gonna seem crazy, it's gonna seem a little scary. I promise it's all cool in the end. Stretch out the paper the best you can. If you tear it, hey, no tears, no sweat, we're cool. Just piece it back together. Try to keep your main picture intact the best you can, but if it does rip, just piece it back together. The main thing you really want to worry about is you don't want any like bubbles. Like you see right there, that's a bubble. Wrinkles, cool, bubbles, bad. Then go back and just kind of piece the picture together, but when I say piece it together, not exactly. Like any pieces that fell off, just try to get the main middle of the picture together. I know I'm not explaining this the best way, but good thing this is a video tutorial and not a vlog or a podcast. So anyways, now this probably would not be the best idea for a newer photo. You want to use a photo of like a house or a place, an animal, maybe an older photo of your grandparents, because it is really grainy, like the quality is not great. Anyways, this is what it looks like the next day when it's dry. And you could stop here if you wanted to, but I really want to finish the edges out. So this wood is 1 by 2 by 8 feet long, only 98 cents at Home Depot, y'all. And it's thick enough but thin enough to be cut easily with a handsaw, and long enough. So because this wood, the plywood I'm using, is thinner, I did 2 strips that are 4 feet long and then 3 in the middle, and that's going to keep the wood stable so it's not bending or curving. It's also how I'm going to hang the art. If it doesn't make sense, it will in the end when you see it. So anyways, sum it up, I spent $3 at Home Depot on 8 feet of wood, or 8 feet times 3, whatever that is. The 3 middle pieces I cut down too, and it wasn't perfect. I didn't nail that down. I just used wood glue to attach it. Now, because you're putting water on your print, if it does fade too much, just take a regular old pencil, scribble around it, and kind of rub it together with your fingers to darken up the edges. So some of the horse's face kind of got lost when I sprayed it down. No big deal, you can easily fix that. To finish this off, taking regular old tissue paper, which can be picked up at Dollar Tree or Walmart. I think Dollar Tree is actually cheaper though. And just kind of Mod Podging it around the edges with water. To make more of a definition or dimension, I guess I should say, around the edges, because my walls are lighter, I just used pewter gray and water, dabbed it over the tissue paper and layered that up. And you can do that as much or as little as you want. Then around the edges, I just mixed black acrylic paint and the same pewter gray and painted there. So you can see where it wasn't totally even because I kind of eyeballed when I nailed it down. No big deal. It all blends together and it all looks good. P.S. by the way, if you're doing this and you accidentally texture too much or something, you can take regular sandpaper after it's dry and sand the paper down if you're using Mod Podge, because it does harden up like that. So here's what it looks like so far. I'm in love with this. So for about $25, a little bit less, you can make yourself a really large piece of wall art. And once again, if you don't even have a handsaw, you can still do this. Those wood strips are really thin to cut, or you could just use thicker plywood and figure out a different way to hang it. But like I said, I did that to make it look thicker, and that's also how I hung it. So I didn't add any hanging whatever. I just put the nails in and put the picture over it. Now I got these 2 lamps, which is totally my splurge of the dining room, from Amazon, and they're $60 each. Way more than I wanted to spend on lamps that I've ever spent on lamps in my life. But I knew exactly what I wanted in this room. I had something envisioned. If I would have bought anything else, I would have been wasting my money on something I didn't want. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyways, here they are up close. These lamps are 25 inches tall, and I'm in love with them. I have no buyer's remorse. I'm also really in love with my dining room and really proud of myself. Here's where I do need your help though, or an opinion, suggestions, whatever you got for me. I don't want to over decorate this room. I don't want to over decorate. It's the first room you see when you walk in the house. What should I put in the corner right here? I'm thinking like a large vase with florals. I'm not 100% for sure. It just seems bare. I just don't want to overdo it. Also, I'm undecided if I want to put something on top of the console or if that would be too much. So give me your opinions on that, what you think. Once again, I don't want it to be over decorated. I want it to be nice and fresh. I already have a lot of dark wood in here, so I think adding too much more stuff would darken it up, or, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking the wrong way. So like I said, suggestions if you have them. Here is my wall art up close. My neighbor also has already come over since I made this video, and she is mind blown impressed. And I don't think she's just saying that because she's my neighbor, because I think it looks awesome too. Anyways, all right. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you next time, my friend. Much love to you.